Welcome to a very special traveling at 80 miles an hour north on I-5 edition of the Vox Cascadia podcast. I'm Chuck, and I'm here live with Tyler. Hey, how's it going? Good. How are you, buddy? I'm good. Good. We are currently en route in the Subaru Outback, heading north on I-5 to Tacoma to go play at Branden Bean's tournament this weekend. So this is going to be an experimental Vox Cascadia because we're gonna try and record on the road. From Vox Scream, actually, Mark gave me a tip on some amazing software to actually help out and filter out all the road noise and stuff. So if it sounds like we're in a studio, it's not. It's AI actually, and as well, like, abominable intelligence. As far as like tools for editing, stuff like that, good use for AI. Creating art, or people who use ChatGPT for therapy, that's bad. If you listen to this and you use ChatGPT for therapy, go see a real therapist. We beg you. I just use it for my AI girlfriend. I mean, you see that news story recently where the guy broke up with his wife, and I think I did actually. Yeah, I've seen a couple things about that. As our, I guess there's hope for all of us because we have, data centers that are just pumping out girlfriends. Absolutely, I know. Her was a prophetic movie. Yeah. Well, yeah, actually, weren't they saying like years ago, like Her was kind of ridiculous, and now literally I think it was whatever, not ChatGPT, but the other one that wanted to use Scarlett Johansson's voice. Yep. Tried to use a fake version of Scarlett Johansson's voice. So, so we're heading up to Tacoma. We are going to Branden Bean Kiddo Crew every month that hosts a little RTT where it's up to 16 players. I think it's at Tacoma Games. And if you go, it's a 3-round tournament. If you go 3-0, you get an invite to Brandon's Invitational. And that means, and Brandon's Invitational is at the end of August. So there's not like this tournament and then one more tournament in July where you can get an opportunity to get that Invitational. And he's actually got a golden ticket for that. So that's going to be exciting. So Tyler and I are both coming up to Sweat. I am bringing play greens because while I enjoy the total Rekka supremacy, I wanted something that was going to be a little more meta, also easy to pick up. So I had a conversation with Sean and Ross that they'll come out in a couple of weeks probably about kind of a deep dive into play greens selfishly, so I can figure out how to play them. Tyler, you brought a couple teams. I've got a couple teams with me. I mean, one of them I just didn't take out of my box. I'm hoping Zach has his camera there and can snap some photos for me too. But I brought my Goremongers with me. They're probably not getting played. I brought Nemesis Claw, who's small chance, but really I'm probably playing Sanctifiers. I'm stoked about them. They're the only team out of the three I haven't played. They're one of them I'm really considering for Tacoma, which I really need to lock in and finalize that. So today's the day. Get 3 reps in with a team in a competitive setting. I mean, that's the best way to do it, right? Go out and take them out. And so how many games do you have so far with them? With Sanctifiers, none. Great. So I haven't got any games in with Sanctifiers, but I conceptually understand Sanctifiers. So, well, they play, I mean, you were a big Novitiate's Hope when the last edition came out for a while. They play a little similar, it sounds like. Basically. I mean, like they play like pretty similar. There's different auras and like different staging, but they're strong, they're extremely strong. Yeah. I doubt we're gonna get a balanced data slate before Tacoma. And so I think they'll remain strong in the current meta. Yeah. Well, yeah, and I'm like I said, I'm bringing play greens because I needed a team that had a little more action quantity than my boys, the Rekkas. I think I might still take Rekkas to Tacoma. I'm gonna take Commandos for the team tournament. So, but I'm bringing play greens because the Stinky Boys are tough. They apparently hit pretty hard, and they got a lot of tricks. So yeah, they're just durable. They stick on the point. They do their thing, exactly like Blake Reach does. Yeah. So, and I have exactly one game with Glen Marys, and that was literally the day that they came out, that they dropped the rules. I took them. Played one single game with them, and so I played against them a bunch of times, mostly as Rekka. So I know what they can do, and then like I said, Sean and I sat down and we talked for about an hour and dug into all the equipment deploys, the operatives as well. And then I listened to Battle Brothers Ben. He did a real nice deep dive on them too. And it was interesting because actually like they were similar in a lot of ways, but they were also like different in a lot of ways how they said to play them. And I think it comes down to the player. I think Ben likes more aggression, and Sean likes to keep him back just a little bit. So I'll probably be more of the Sean method. So
I think that fits your play style. Ben is an aggressive player from everything I've heard. One of these days, Ben, you and I will get a game in. It's long overdue, but we've known each other too long. But we live on opposite coasts, so that's a good excuse at this point.
Yeah, I don't know if Ben has a golden ticket yet, but maybe you can go 3-0 today and get a shot at the Invitational and then get a golden ticket.
I think he does. I believe he got his golden ticket a little while back. So
nice.
Yeah.
So we're, like I said, experimental Vox Cascadia. We've got a couple mics hooked up. We're going to use some AI software to make this sound good. So hopefully it does. If it doesn't, we apologize and thanks for listening either way. But Tyler, we're road tripping.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You met me up in Beaverton, came up from Salem. We jumped in the Outback, hopped into Dutch Brothers and got a Vampire Slayer, which is some pomegranate, strawberry, and then their energy drink stuff. So like their knockoff Red Bull. We're fueling up. Tyler, you got any road trip like snacks that you have to have generally?
I mean, like I think the Nerds clusters are like a modern classic for a road trip. They are like, name me a better candy that's come out in the last 10 years.
Honestly, like that's a big one. Then one of my biggest beefs with the food industry is that we don't have enough candy information. Like Reese's peanut butter cups are a classic. Kit Kats. You know, I'm actually an Almond Joy fan. I like Almond Joy.
Love them.
But we haven't had the innovation, and I think that's really what's keeping our country back. And you know, I think it's Mondelez who does Nerds. Like, decided, hey, like we can do more with this, and I think that's the innovation that we need in the forward thinking. Nerds clusters are amazing.
Agreed. You know, like the Nerds rope was top tier, but like they were expensive, they were unwieldy, they were hard to eat, and someone said, hey, let's chop them up. Let's chop them up a little bit. It's little clusters. Get more Nerds on them. Feed them to the people. You know,
I feel like Nerds clusters has been one of those things that I've been able to spread like a plague, because I did a running event a few years ago, and one of my fellow runners introduced me to nerd clusters, and like those things are like, especially when you first get them, are like crack.
Absolutely.
And
we had a bag of them. Oh, Costco size.
I actually turned Nick on to nerd clusters, and now Nick has a problem with nerd clusters. Actually, not really. He loves nerd clusters. That guy will sit down and go through a bag.
I mean, I right there with him. Yeah. Another Sour Patch Kids watermelon. You know,
I do Sour Patch watermelon because I'm not a huge sour guy. I feel like the watermelon has enough sweet to offset it for me.
Classic are, you know, like they're solid, but like I'm not a child. I don't want anything that sour. I do feel like the Sour Patch Kids, their watermelon slices are not as sour as they used to be, though. I believe that they used to hurt my mouth when I eat them, and they don't really anymore. Like a little bit by the end of the bag. But like a couple of them in at the movie theater used to really make my mouth hurt a lot. And then you'd like splash the cherry Coke on the top of the mouth, and it would burn. But like a good burn, you know?
I think that's just part of growing up. But yeah, because, you know, like I used to never like beer. Now I love IPAs. Kind of the same evolution. I mean, it's part of maturing. So I'm more of a salty guy. Okay, when it comes to snacks, like there's something about going into a convenience store and getting the like 99-cent pack of like whatever kind of nuts.
Yeah,
like whether it be like the hot peanuts or the just salty peanuts, honey roasted anything, I will do too. But I'm more of like a sweet and salty guy.
You know, I love myself, like especially like honey roasted peanuts. Like,
I don't think I've had the hot honey roasted.
All right, I think that they're kind of rare. It's usually like the smaller brands that do them, you know. So it's not Planters, but like you can find them occasionally, and they're really good. You know, I'd like a nice spicy treat.
If you come across a bag of those, snatch those up for me because I want to try that out.
Sounds good. I absolutely will. Did you ever try the fiery hot Mountain Dew? About a year and a half ago or 2 years ago.
I didn't actually.
I mean, it was so good. I think that should be a staple Mountain Dew. I think it's one of the best ones they've ever released.
You know what? I actually for Mountain Dews though, you know what I have? They did like a holiday Mountain Dew a couple years ago.
Okay.
It was like a gingerbread Mountain Dew, and I actually think I still time limit. Let's go.
Oh,
It was like a holiday thing. Holiday Mountain Dew. It was like gingerbread flavor. It was. I think I still have a couple cans left. At this point, I think it's probably turned into like some sort of like wine or something. That's how it works in Mountain Dew, right?
You just leave it. That turns into wine after a while.
Yeah. So, let's see. And then any other like road trip traditions or anything, like games that your family would play when you guys road trip? Did you road trip much as a kid?
We did like a little bit. You know, like my dad liked to take us to places like Idaho, Eastern Oregon and stuff like that. The car, and like we didn't really play any games. I would read a lot. When I was a kid. Or the car, yeah, absolutely. I'd be blazing through those Goosebumps books. I'd have to bring 3 or 4 with me.
Yeah.
On a road trip because they read so quick. So and then the little guy. Did you ever, when you look out the window, you're a kid? Did you imagine like a guy running along with you, like doing grinds on like the guardrails and stuff like that?
I did.
Okay.
You had this like imaginary friend that was.
I mean, like it was just like a amorphous guy.
Okay.
Conceptually, there was a guy that was running along the car, and he's like doing cool tricks. Maybe he's riding a skateboard, or like rollerblades, or whatever. Riding a bike. Yeah, we're doing cool tricks. Backflips over the signs. Sick grinds.
So you just had like little like Tony Hawk Pro Skater going on. Like I just started there.
Absolutely.
Seems like a good way to pass the time. I never did that.
Like it was just. I thought that was a universal experience. Like, talked to a couple other people who've also had that same kind of like imaginary thing. And I saw a TikTok about it recently, and it had like 100,000 likes on it. I'm like, okay, so like I'm not alone in this.
I've never heard of this ever.
Interesting. I don't know. Well, I asked my girlfriend about it after I saw that TikTok, and she's like, no, I never also. So like 2 out of 2 people I personally asked it, but like there's thousands of us online.
Thousands of us. So, well, okay, if you played Pro Skater alongside the car, or had a little man that was running doing kickflips and shit, let us know. Because, yeah, I've never heard of this. So, yeah. We didn't, when I was growing up, we didn't take a ton of road trips. My parents had a little place down on Long Beach, that we'd go camp at. That's only like an hour and a half, so I never had 2 crazy long road trips. All my family's on the East Coast, so we had to fly to them. I did drive actually cross country with my mom when I was like 17.
Okay.
That was an experience. I really wish I was more mature at the time because I was just an idiot 17-year-old. And so like we were going to all these amazing places across the country, and you're like, can we get back in the car? I was just worried about who got to play the next CD or whatever. That is though where I discovered where my mom would make me listen to one of her CDs, and then I would try and get her to listen to one of my CDs, and she just wouldn't do it. Because it was like, I was listening to like Spoon and like Nirvana at the time. This was 96. And I did actually learn to love the Beatles at that point. My mom, that was like the one thing my mom and I actually enjoyed, and my mom actually enjoyed too.
Okay. The Beatles.
Yeah. So
I'm not a Beatles fan. I'll come out and say it. I did radio all through high school. Every semester I take a independent radio class. We had a radio station there, and I actually got kicked out of the radio station for like a couple weeks because I said I didn't like the Beatles.
I mean, I'm about to pull over right now.
That's fair. If you have, I can respect what they did for music. As far as like techniques and stuff like that, just not into them. There's a couple songs here and there that are good things, but like, it's just, I'm over it. Can we just not hear the Beatles anymore?
Yeah. Well, they were they're pretty popular for a little while. They did okay for themselves. I don't think that you not buying their albums is gonna really.
Yeah, I mean, like Bigger Than Jesus, right?
Yeah.
So
guilty. So, Typhon just came out yesterday. I, at one point, had 3 boxes of Typhon in my car. I only have one myself. I borrowed Curtis I got on his list. Got Tyler's is behind the seat here. And I'm actually grabbing it right now. Delivering one for Nick up at Tacoma as well. That's your microphone off. Oh, cool.
Microphone's still here.
All right, Tyler's is.
I'm getting a knife out while we're driving. That's dangerous. Don't do that. Yeah, I'm a professional.
We're trying not to rear end somebody.
Yeah. My tragic death recorded live.
So this is a box
live. You guys are hearing me. So just cut it open and Typhon. I have the sprues on top. We got that new plastic smell.
Yeah. Okay. Is it coming through in the radio?
Yeah, it smells great.
That's good.
ASMR.
I take all of that plastic.
It's gonna just straight out. You know, the terrain's a little bit smaller than I expected.
It actually was, yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a lot bigger. Like she said. You know, I think we could get like a Bad Dragon toy or something like that and substitute if we needed to. I mean, it would look the same. Are we gonna use Typhon terrain at Killscrape? You will see at least one set of Typhon terrain and we
Killscrape. Drop a Bad Dragon on one of the tables and just, primer a little dry brush and good to go, right?
I mean, they come in pretty wild colors already.
So we just I just order to fit our scheme that we decide on.
Yeah.
So well, and it's we'll make sure it's new too. So
yeah, absolutely new. Portland has a long history of adult shops, so maybe we find one to sponsor CritCon. So
yeah, there we go. Really, and I think then we got to make some sort of game out of it though, where if you win the final game on that table, you get to take it home if you want it.
Yeah. I mean,
or maybe if you lose the game, you get to take it home because
I mean, they're expensive. So I think you want to take it home regardless. Maybe you could sell it on the internet.
Yeah, that might be a weird one to be walking in the house trying to explain.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, you were playing Guilty.
Oh, Guilty. You weren't at the Adult Expo?
What's this giant dragon dick doing here?
Absolutely.
Probably be more tentacle, I guess.
Yeah, I assume I'm excited. Do you ever read the lore sections out of the books?
Try to read them, and I never do. I'm now Hunterclade fan, or excuse me, Battleclade fan number 1, Mr. Admech, taking over from Connor since he's given up the kill team mantle for this time. But so I'm excited to learn about the Omnissiah, about the Treaty of Mars, and how they basically the Admech gave up and became the Ember's bitches. I'm pretty sure that's more accurate, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I really like this terrain in the book it's really gooey, which is not typical for Games Workshop stuff.
Is that some Volcus?
Yeah.
They gooed up?
Absolutely. Gooed up Volcus. And they got some weird purple stuff. I like it. Whoever did that paint job for this terrain at Games Workshop, shout outs. It's very it's like a primer and then goo on it mostly, some windows painted. Looks nice though. Simple. I think it's easy to recommend.
I started to put together some of the tentacle foreign terrain last night. And I got a little beef with it. Some of the sprue gates where they have stuff is kind of in weird, inconvenient pieces because a lot of it's there's not a lot of flat surfaces on it, so it's all tentacles. It's kind of a pain in the ass. I actually cut myself last night. I shouldn't be allowed to use X-Acto knives apparently.
Okay,
so I bought the little GW scraper thing, so I don't cut myself.
Okay. I just sprue goo everything at this point. Who cares if it's scraped? It's getting the layer of sprue goo on it.
I see, and I'll use that extra thin, not the extra thin cement, but what's it called?
The airbrush cleaner?
Yeah, it's airbrush cleaner basically. By the way, if you ever need to refill your Tamiya, their airbrush cleaner is 1% different than their actual plastic glue.
Yep.
Or plastic cement. So, and it's way, way cheaper. So you can refill your little bottles for it. So.
Yeah, this book has a lot of lore. The whole first section, it's quite a bit more than we've seen in other books.
It's one thing I felt the Blood and Zeal book was pretty thin,
very thin. I thought it was it's 2 pages. It felt like,
yeah,
it was all right, here's a 1-page story, and then it's warmongers are goremongers, and the next one's sanctify the priest.
Yeah,
so.
Are you gonna jump into one of those teams to get built and painted up?
I mean, the Raveners are high on my list. I need to learn how to do some green stuff.
Yeah. What are you looking to green stuff on them?
Their faces. Their faces are not horrendous enough. They're not like creepy and like humanoid. They're gonna get some like really gross kind of like skulls and like I think I'm gonna take some of the Escher faces, like green, step it down to a point and like cut off the bottom jaw and give them some like thick mandibles and like the tongue sticking out. Like really, I want to like push the horrific body for element of it as far as I can with it. And I'm gonna try to make some like really gross, wet looking, sticky skin and lots of like slime tendrils in between. And
yeah, it sounds disgusting.
It's gonna be gross. I want them to like, when you see them, that you don't want to touch them because you think that they're wet.
I feel like that's like your one of your sets of Vulcus, or no, maybe it was your the canisters or the generators from last edition that you painted up that looked like if you get tetanus just by touching them.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. That's, I like the micro textures. I think that's like probably my favorite part of painting is I like to build a lot of like tiny textures in my stuff and like really give it that lived in feel. For my job I get to like walk around a bunch of like industrial areas a lot. I get to see a lot of cool rust and grime and things, and it's gross, but it's also like neat. Like layers of deposits and stuff create interesting colors and things like that, and then to apply that to the painting is a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'll probably build the Raveners soon because I just like building. Building's honestly my favorite part. But then I end up with a lot of either built in gray plastic or just built and primed stuff, and I don't get enough paint on it. But I think I'm gonna start with a battle plate because I'm AdMech fanboy number 1 now. And I'll probably just go Mars box art for them. Although I don't know what I'm going to do for the servitors because I feel like the servitors are a little dark. They are. I feel like they could be punched up a little bit. Maybe like a red undersuit or something different. They're just real dark.
I agree with you. They are pretty dark. I was talking to the Jeremy Spake the other night, and he was like, wouldn't it be neat if you could do like a transparent body bag? So it's like just a bunch of flesh bits floating around. That's gross. Outside of it, it's gross. It'd be really cool though.
It would be really cool.
Just like some goo, like amniotic goo, and some muscles and stuff like that. My painting skill is not good enough for that, but
yeah,
I can't even do like I can translate doing like vials that are full of stuff partially. Yeah, like some people do. Some people are like really good about doing like the depth. They give in like little bubbles and stuff like that. Like
yeah. I've done the vials. I've never really gotten the bubbles pieced down. I've had some that turned out okay. You saw the sheer fabric that I tried to do with the sanctifiers. Whatever was nearly there. I don't know.
the ghost lady.
Yeah. Jenna called her Jesus. She was like
She's more like Mary, but
yeah, I think I'll just go Mars for the one dudes and then go, I don't know, like I said, maybe punched up a little bit. A little red undersuit. Also looking for something that I can just paint, airbrush most of it. And I think if I do like red and then I can just pick out the armor panels on top of it, details, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really good.
Well, we are going to cut this off here, but we are going to be back in a little bit, and a little bit meaning maybe mid-tournament, probably post-tournament. So we'll have a wrap-up. So good luck, buddy.
Absolutely. You too, man. Yeah. 3-3.
All right.
Oh, the time is now, the time is here. Now's the time for a bite of cheer. A tasty light where the price is right. Well, look here, you'll dig this sight. The moment's handy for a piece of candy. Just name your brand, they're all so grand. Hey, what do you think of a nice cool drink? Or a big box filled with a popcorn thrill? Let your taste buds meet with an ice cream treat. Refresh yourselves, it's time to eat. So come on, folks, let's join the band as we all head for the refreshment stand.
All right, we are back. This is your post-tournament wrap-up. Needless to say, we kicked some ass getting up here, and then got our asses kicked when we got up here.
Basically, like we were a missile on the way up here. Nothing could stop us.
Yeah.
You know, anything that tried to stop us, it blew up. You know, and we made it in record time, almost an hour to spare, which was way ahead of our target time.
We got some Jimmy Johns, which was also freakishly fast.
Absolutely, you know. And then when we showed up and we hung out for a little bit, and round 1 started, and I paired into Max playing Angels of Death, and he fucking kicked my ass so bad. It was so bad. Like, I don't think I've ever had my ass kicked in the game so bad. I was playing Sanctifyers Fires for the first time, and yeah, my aggression killed me, as Sean warned me it would. Shout out to Sean. Love seeing you. And Max ended up finishing me off with I had 3 points.
Yeah, 3 points. Yeah, it looked like rough. You were on we played, what was the mission we played? Extraction?
Extraction, yeah.
And then you were on Open, right? And so that I noticed you were while I was working on my game, I noticed you were already done with your game, so
yeah, I definitely however said to myself, you know, I forgot how fast Angels of Death are, and that everyone double shoots now.
Yeah.
You know, those heavy bolt pistols are gnarly. They're so gnarly. And I just wasn't prepared for that. And then there are times I just forgot my rules. You know, because again, it's the first time I played Sanctifyers, and you know, I knew that they had a lot of rules, but like, it's a lot of rules. It's a lot of rules. Like every guy basically has 2 pages of rules, it feels like, and that was too much for me in that first game. You know, I was all over the place.
Well, my first game was against Chad and Chad's Corsairs.
That's always a rough game.
Chad's played Corsairs. Chad's to Corsairs what Connor was to Admech and Underclay. He's played them like a million fucking times.
Absolutely.
And
he's brutal with
he's brutal with them. Unfortunately we didn't get the game. We didn't finish all 4 turns. We got through the middle of turn 3 before we had to put the dice down. We played on Into the Dark. Actually, it was a board that Chad and I played on when we played at the Cascade Clash, a couple months ago. Except we flipped sides of the board. He did his stupid little elf shit where he changed positions with his Shade Runner and his Starstorm Duelist, and then ended up like nuking a Marine pretty quickly on turn 1. And turn 2 was more of the same, and so I got dumpstered pretty hard too. I think it was like I was like 18-8 or something. Better than Nate. So my a little sorry. It was 10-8 or something. Anyways, still lost. So unfortunately, the dreams of 3-0 went out the door right away for both of us.
Absolutely. You know, Chad's always a tough opponent. Chad, no hate, but you gotta finish your game sometime.
Has to be stuff, brother.
We'd love to see you finish a game. Yeah, any game. Just one.
So round 2, I ended up paired up with Mark, right? Mark, who had Wormblade, Into the Dark again for me, and I absolutely hate playing against Wormblade. I've played Wormblade 3 or 4 times this edition, all with orcs. I have yet to win, and Mark hates playing against Life Rate, so it was a nice little pair up there. So okay. So we played Into the Dark. I ended up winning. I can't remember what was the final score, but
you got, what was it, 8-17?
8-17. I won. So I came back around to I didn't make a single disgustingly resilient. Also, I realized in game 3 I was playing it wrong. It's on a 4-up. I thought it was a 5-up. I thought it was stupid.
Wow.
So I was playing it for the first 2 games. I kept rolling, and like I'm sure I had a couple of times where I rolled 4s, and I was like, oh well, pick up the dice and move on. So that's on me though.
Yep. I did similar stuff like when my Sanctifiers are in Sorbet, and I got to reduce their damage all 3 games repeatedly. I know I gave up kills that I shouldn't have. So like playing a team that you've only played Blake Greens once before this.
Yeah, and that was, like I said, the first day they came out.
Yeah.
So, and I don't ever really looked at their rules too much. Like specifically with numbers like that, I just trusted people with their disgusting resilience and never realized that it was unforced. So, but I ended up winning that game. Ended up getting. I felt pretty good with the Flake Marines, although Mark has been playing Brood Brothers and actually switched off Brood Brothers because everybody else started playing Brood Brothers, and so he went to Wormblade because apparently if it doesn't have more than 2 arms, he's not going to play it. That's fair. A fun game, great opponent, and I think we both had a good game, but ended up I don't think I think he got maybe a kill or two, and I'm at like 7 or 8 kills.
Okay.
And just kind of pushed up the board pretty slowly. I basically took half the board and kind of stayed on it, and I threw one Plague Marine on the other side to toy with him. But yeah, so it was good game 2. So I finished up game 2. What was your game 2?
I played Jonah with Wrecker Crew.
Yeah.
And it was a good game. He's played Sanctifiers a few times. I only played Wrecker Crew a couple times. And I think Sanctifiers have a pretty good matchup into them. They're just like pretty strong, pretty survivable. And then you start chipping damage with the Flamers on them, and there's not enough bottles to just like keep up. They don't have the durability of Marines, and they can't quite do the same level of double kills as Marines can.
Yeah.
So, and then you start hitting them with, play a little aggressive, get guys up into the right spots and blow them up. They get blaze, and then, arm roll in to where they're -1 APL, start off the turn, and that's really rough for Wrecker Crew, So, overall, like, it just kind of snowballed for him. I think it was 20-10. Pretty tight game overall, like, as far as I did have 3 models left at the end, like a general missionary and like my cherub and my little ghost lady,
So it sounds like he killed you down pretty good.
He killed me down pretty good.
Too late?
Just too late, like I killed him down better.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So that was round 2. What was your round 3 matchup? It was you into Goremongers, right?
Mongers, yeah. And that was, what's his name? It was Logan, who I was playing in Goremongers, and that was a tight game. I think you made a couple positioning errors, and again, I took a lot of flamers. We were on Into the Dark, so the lethal 5 just kind of, it piles on, so you shoot, and then you do 8 damage, and they're on 2, and while they can heal, you still do really good melee with all of the Sanctifiers. The basic preachers are solid, so like, it's hard to really kind of work past them and not take a loss on the guys. So overall, I think it's, it's a good matchup. Final score on that one was 8-19 total. My win.
Yeah, and that was Into the Dark as well. We were playing Secure. The second mission was Sabotage, by the way, for round 2, which Sabotage is kind of a pain in the ass, a weird one. But yeah, so we played Secure. I ended up getting, my first 2 rounds were on Into the Dark. My third round ended up being Eric and Ravener's action. So
okay.
They've been out for a whole day, and
he's on it.
He's got them built up. He's got one of them mostly sketched out with colors, and he's going to go back and do some details, but I think they're going to look really good. And that was on Open on a Volcus board, and it was a really, really interesting game. Like, I didn't kill a single Ravener. Okay. Like, with all my Plague Marines, and I shot the shit out of them, that I ended up losing I lost by like 4 or 5 points. And I was doing really good too, actually. I thought in the middle of turn 2, I was like, all right, well, I was keeping him off points. I took Tick Ground. I had both strongholds. I'd secured the objectives in both strongholds, so I was kind of content to let him play around in the middle. But my problem was with him playing around the middle, I had too many Marines there, and then he ended up killing those Marines. So that's all of a sudden, like, I was down 3 Marines, and I still hadn't even killed a freaking bug.
That's crazy.
Honestly. They just ran away. I had one of them down to 5 wounds, and then he jumps in a tunnel and is gone, or he's got a 7-inch move or whatever. And they just, I couldn't put enough on them, and I didn't, I stepped back with he was he'd charged my leader, and so I stepped back and hit him with a plasma with my leader, and even with like 5-up saves, he still just got enough through that. I mean, leader got him down to like maybe 10 wounds or something.
Yeah.
They heal every time they activate, basically too, for one or three, and but even with poison, like it was keeping my chip damage off him. Because I think by the end of the game I had his entire team poisoned except maybe one guy. But the tunnel was really weird because you gotta watch it, because you'll have a guy that's on your side of the board, and then all of a sudden he's gone, and then all of a sudden he's in his own backfield, or the guys they basically have super conceal if they're standing on the tunnel, so I couldn't kill a guy. So it's a good game. It's fun. They have a lot of cool rules, and it was really interesting. I did lose. I can't remember what the mile score was, but so I went 1-2. Tyler went 2-1. We did not qualify for the invitational. So it looked like Max, and who was the other guy? Max actually ended up playing. So Max had a nice run. He smoked Tyler in the first round, beat Zach against Syncfires in the second round, and then played into Chad with Corsairs in the third round. He actually won in the third round too. So,
looks like Nathan and Max. Yeah. No losses, so they're going to the invitational.
I don't know. Are they going to the invitational, or
are they
going to play a shadow round?
Maybe make you a shadow round.
I kind of made it sound like it was, which honestly, if they wanted me to do a shadow round, I would say,
yeah, would absolutely.
Let's roll off and go.
It'd be weird if we tied him in the shadow round.
Yeah. But overall, really fun event. Thank you, Branden, for putting it on. Thanks, and make sure everybody who came out, and looks like people donate, train, help them set up, help them tear down. So this is Branden's monthly event. So had a great time.
It's a blast. Always love going into any event hosted by any of our member community, but an event hosted by Branden's always something special. Branden was there when this all started, so I love seeing him do stuff and have great success that he has. So
it was good to see Sean Ross, Branden Bean, Zach. Yeah, Wisnowski. I think it started. I don't know. Zach will see me when I say it, I guess. I played Max actually. I played Max at the Clash. We paired up, and I actually beat him pretty soundly. But he's barely gotten a lot better.
He's doing really good.
I think when we played at Clash, it was one of his first games of this edition, though, too. So but he took undefeated, and Tyler and I are heading back to Portland on I-5 South with our tails between our legs.
Absolutely. It was a good time. It was a really good time. I'm glad, like you said, no shadow round.
Yeah.
So that's all.
No, and I'm really excited. I think we've mentioned this before, but I'm very excited that other people are doing tournaments. So Branden has been doing this for a while, but there's tournament. I think there's another tournament that Brandon's going to next weekend. I don't know if that's the one over in Bremerton or whatever, but there's going to be one in the weekend after Tacoma. It's going to be down in my hometown in Vancouver.
Yep. There you got that Contrarian, right? Yep. Hosted by Jeff. And then it's Branden hosted on that weekend also.
Brandon's got his. That's the final qualifier. So here's my quandary. So I didn't make it on this one, and I wasn't close, which is fine. I haven't played this team. I haven't rolled dice even since the Memorial Day tournament. So like a month. So now do I go to Jed's tournament in Vancouver, and he actually wants some help with it, potentially like streaming or even like casting.
Okay.
And so, or do I come back out to Tacoma to try for that? And I know you're already committed to the Vancouver tournament.
I mean, I'm committed, but really we should leave it up to the patrons.
Tell us where to go.
Yeah, tell us where to go. We'll take a vote on the Patreon, and you guys can decide what we're doing, whether we're going up to the one in Vancouver or driving all the way up to Tacoma again. So
now for the one in Vancouver, I won't be playing. I'll be helping potentially run the stream. Maybe it sounds like. So I guess we'll take a vote, and that's where they're gonna send us.
Yep.
So okay. Cool. By the way, we also had taco time. Because contentious, if you're in the Kill Team Cascadia Discord, very, very contentious whether Oregon Taco Time or Washington Taco Time is better because they have the same name, they have the same logo, they are two different companies.
Yep. And the one from Oregon is these. So we'll give brief history about it. Those of you not caught up. After an event, I was shit talking Taco Time Northwest because I got it on the way back. And I was like, it's the same shit. And all of these people came out of the woodwork and they're like, no, it's not the same. It's better. Taco Time Northwest. And I was like, it's not. It's literally the same. And then I get on the internet looking at TikTok, and you got people on there talking about Taco Time Northwest and how it's so good, and it's the only real Taco Time. It's not even the first Taco Time. So I've been doing an investigation. I've eaten Taco Time back to back, Washington to Oregon last week, and then this week we do Oregon to Washington. And I tell you definitively. So I'm gonna get that edited up. We got some video, and which one is better for now?
Yeah, have you ever wanted to see video of Tyler and I eating Taco Time? It's coming.
Absolutely, it's coming. I got multiple videos, not of just Chuck and me eating it by myself. I got it, me and my partner eating it. So like, it's gonna be a full Taco Time breakdown.
I mean, if this is what investigative journalism was, is going and eating different fast food, like, I would crush it.
Absolutely. I mean, you really couldn't find a meta reviewer than me. It's part of my job that I'm constantly eating fast food, unfortunately.
You're on the road all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So all right, real quick question. What is your, like, you're driving down the freeway, you see a sign that says food next right, and it has anything you want from fast food. What's the one that you're going to?
I mean, like, it all depends on the day, the temperature and stuff like that. But like, I won't turn down a Quiznos. On Potbellies. I like a good sandwich.
Yeah.
Sandwich is like my favorite. But also some days I just want to keep it cheap and I want it to be reliable. So McDonald's is like, you can always go to McDonald's and get exactly the same thing, no matter where you go. And like, that's the beauty of McDonald's in my opinion. It's not that it's good, it's that it's consistent and you can expect it to be approximate.
I actually do miss McDonald's. Since I went vegetarian, vegan like 13 years ago, I have not had McDonald's once, and I do miss it. Although I ate way too much fucking McDonald's previously.
So I was vegan vegetarian from like 14 to about 22. And the thing that broke me from being vegan is I was driving down West 11th to Eugene, and I drove past the Burger King. I could smell the Burger King greases just pouring out of the fumes there. And Burger King's really, you ever notice, Burger King really has a lot of fumes that'll come out of its chips.
The flame broiling.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they were flame broiling a mart, and I whipped my little 40SX around and went through the drive-thru and broke, 10 years of veganism.
So you just had to wait it out like another 20 years because then I got the Impossible Whopper.
Absolutely.
So the Impossible Whopper is, it tastes just like a Whopper.
Basically, yeah. I usually get like, I'll do the 2 for $5 mini Whoppers, which are better than the normal Whoppers, in my opinion.
Whopper Jr.? Okay.
Whopper Jr. better than normal Whopper. It's just a ratio thing. It's just like the Baconator, or Son of Baconator is better than the Baconator.
You know what was my go-to, like my gluttony meal for when I ate all fast food? The Bacon Ultimate Cheeseburger from Jack in the Box. Okay. That thing is like, imagine a quarter pounder with cheese, and then just more cheese and more meat.
Yeah. I don't like Jack in the Box. That's a no for me. Generally.
Oh man, Bacon Ultimate Cheeseburger was my jam. Also, they had some like breakfast bowls there for a while. My buddy and I used to get together on Sundays and get like $30 worth of Jack in the Box when it was like, or McDonald's, and just eat that all day long. So,
hell yeah.
That was when I had a way high cholesterol, and I got put on cholesterol medication at 25.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, but
I eat like shit, and I'm a big dude. If you guys don't know me, I'm a big dude. I'm like 320-ish, and my cholesterol's always been great.
Part of it's a genes thing.
Yep.
And like my family cholesterol has always been an issue, and then the fact that I smoked for like 10 years, cigarettes, and then I ate like crap and drank way too much instead of just too much, and it wasn't working out or anything. So
honestly, it's hard to believe that was you.
Yeah, I know. There's some pictures of me actually that I think I ever shown you the like four pictures of me where it's like progression.
Oh,
I'll show you when I'm not driving, but yeah. All right. Well, so final thoughts. Actually, let's talk Sanctifiers a little. Okay, so you had 3 games of Sanctifiers. Let's say you had 2 games of Sanctifiers. Yeah. You had 1 game where you just watched your Sanctifiers get put down.
I learned from that one. I learned a lot about Ages of Death, because this is actually the first time I've ever faced off against Angels of Death Sedition. I've somehow dodged Angels of Death. I've actually never fought Flame Reigns either.
Really?
So Salem scene's been a little weird with a lot of teams that we see. And so I haven't played against any of those teams, which is really kind of a lack at the moment. So
Well, I guess you haven't been to any big tournaments this year. You went to the Memorial Day one's the only one you played at, right?
yeah.
Because you didn't go to Adepticon or LEO.
Yep.
But got to come in a couple weeks.
Yep. And then we played. I played in the doubles.
That's right. You played in doubles.
And then Christmas one, didn't play in that one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's surprising because I have played Marines and I played Ages of Death a fucking ton of times.
Okay.
So, but like, what do you like? We talked to Zach. Zach is gonna come on and do a deep dive with us for Sanctifier. Zach, who just won ABTT with them, but also actually he lost round 2 to Max.
So,
and then tied his final game against Goremongers. So,
technically, but Zach, after this event, no, there's a lot. I talked to Zach after my first game. And we were talking about the banners and stuff like that, and that's like the part that I'm like, because like there's so many auras and abilities that overlap and have to be timed just right with the Sanctifiers, and the way that they do it is like it's weird, and so having everything go off properly is difficult. So like after my first game, I dropped my 2 banners. He's like, I don't even think like for the first 5-6 games, you get used to the core of the team and like their abilities, just like their pages and abilities and when they can be used and who's in the radiuses and who's not, all of that stuff really becomes clear. Just drop the banners.
Remind me what the banners do. I haven't.
One's your medic, essentially.
Okay.
And like he's useful for sure. In the right situation, more useful than another preacher, questionable. And then the other one, it lets you shoot on death, if you're ready, essentially. And so like that's really good. But like into a melee team or something like that, it could be a little bit. Or if you're not in the proper ranges and stuff like that, it becomes really difficult to hold. So, second game, I dropped the banners, and third game we made it the same.
Okay.
So,
worked out better for you. So
yeah, it did. So,
anything else? Any other any synergies that came along that you figured out, or
it's just like there's tons of synergies. It's about like the lead the procession is like a little bit awkward, like the way that's written, and having to again move everyone in this aura and activate it in the right order, so that everyone does all of the stuff that they're supposed to, is just difficult. There's a lot of moving parts with the team and a lot of movement with the team also.
Yeah. So, well, we got 3 weeks to Tacoma. So the Great Games Workshop Tacoma Open. Yeah. Tickets are still available, and we don't make anything from it. Hey, talk. We don't make anything from it, but we want to see it be the biggest event because the Northwest has the best kill team scene, and I don't care what anybody else says.
Absolutely.
So we'll throw the link in the description in the show notes. But are you locked in on Sanctifiers?
No, not at all.
No?
I got hobbies too, and if like my Tyranids come out really good, I may pivot Tyranids. Like you never know. Really, I may just go for like a really gross display board.
Yeah,
we try to take that and make them put some disgusting photos of Raveners in the Deep Workshop stuff.
Yeah. I don't. I'll probably maybe go back to Rekkas. I don't know. I'm trying to get kind of my goal with Rekkas. I don't think I can win a tournament with them. I just don't think they have the juice with their action economy. They need something else. You hit them with stuns, they just get. It's just too debilitating to them, and they just can't recover. Especially if there's things like doors. Doors suck for Rekkas. But I think that, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if I want to play Plague Marines. But I also kind of want to with Rekkas. I'm really highly ranked with them only because I played a bunch of events with them, not because I'm good with them. And I kind of want to see if I can lock in that like number one, at least in the US for the year. And I think that one more big event, because I've got LBO, Adepticon, and the Memorial Day one.
Yep.
So I think one more big event might lock me in for getting pretty close. So I don't know what I'm doing. We got 3 weeks. So
You bring up with duffels? Or more?
well, for doubles though, Nick and I got our commandos and Rekkas.
Okay.
So we got our orc team. Nick's gonna be coming down, spending like a week at the house before we go. So I'm gonna force him to make a display board for that, and then maybe go back and touch up my commandos. We could run double Rekkas because I guess there's no rule against it actually.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it was Jason Fay and his partner at Adepticon that ran double Phobos.
I thought that was so annoying.
Yeah.
Shot from everywhere.
He's shot everywhere all the time. So
I think so. Like with their format, it's 2 boards pushed together, right?
Yeah.
And then so basically on Into the Dark, it's one Into the Dark, one Open generally.
Yep.
Right? So on Into the Dark, it's usually going to leave one side room completely open to be shot from the open for it, right?
Yeah.
So isn't the strategy just to abandon the Into the Dark and try to claim 4?
I think you can, if I remember right, you can still only score, like, you can't score like 4 or 3 on one board.
Okay.
I think you still have to, I think the TAC ops scoring or the mission scoring is still the same.
Per board?
Yeah, I don't think because I don't think you can like just swarm onto one board and keep that board. But I feel like you could find a lot of cool synergy with if you played the right teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, somebody. Well, it was Jimmy was talking about it. Was it? Jimmy was talking about it on our podcast or whatever. Him and Jeshua have some ideas about how they can move stuff around.
Yeah, he's at what scouts and something else.
Scouts the Nemesis Claw, I think. Yeah. So, no, Nick and I are just doing it for fun. We're not trying to sweat out anything, and I don't want to be sweating out anything in Tacoma, obviously. Yeah, the way I'm playing lately. But yeah, it's like my golf game actually. Like I go and I play golf,
Mm-hmm.
and I play like shit, and then I have a good time, and then I wonder why I play like shit when I never practice.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely out of practice. Greg, I miss you. Be back to the West Coast soon.
Yeah.
So I can have a practice partner down south. But yeah, like I'm not practicing lately, and I'm doing okay. So
I feel like we both did pretty good at the Memorial Day event. I think we were like 4th, 5th in the Memorial Day event. We got our butts kicked today.
yeah, absolutely. I got my butt kicked one real hard.
Yeah.
I want to do over, man. So that's all.
Yeah, Max.
Let's run it back.
Maybe Max will probably be at Tacoma. He's a Seattle guy, so yeah, absolutely. So well, cool. Well, bless you. Jesus.
That was that bad.
Yeah.
Our partner, whenever she sneezes, she screams. Like, just screams. And I'm like, you can not scream when you sneeze. And she's like, I can't. I unable to. So, I have to live with that. That's pretty, it's like honestly horrifying because like the scream, it's like a loud scream.
Like, we talking like horror movie shriek?
Not shriek, I'm not going to do it because I'm mic'd up.
Yeah.
Like it's a scream. Like,
I've heard a lot of people do a lot of weird things when they sneeze. Scream's not one I've ever heard of.
no, it's like the loudest, and it's not just like a loud sneeze because like there's loud sneezes, this is actively a scream added onto it, like on top of it, just super, super loud.
All right. Well, when I sneeze, sometimes I like crack my back.
Yes,
I'll sneeze so hard it just like cracks like up and down.
Do you ever get like sick before you have to sneeze?
It's like not to throw up? No.
Oh, sometimes like I'll get like randomly nauseous. I'll be like, oh, what's going on? And then it'll be like, oh, I need to sneeze.
I've never heard that one either. How? No. So
your sneeze is ever smellier.
no.
Okay. What's my ninth?
Yeah,
The first one, I definitely almost these smelling. No, that's what.
yeah, but well, anyways, thanks everybody for listening. We're gonna put on some bad music and then spend the next hour and a half heading back down to Portland and cry in the car because we didn't get our wins.
We're losers.
It was a really good time though. Had a great time. All my opponents were great. Everybody there was great. Brandon, thanks so much for putting on the event. Sean, thanks for the pre-gaming with me on the Plague Marines. Sorry, apparently all of your information fell on deaf ears because I didn't fairly use any of it.
Yeah, I mean, he was talking about how you even had a whole podcast just to have him on, so you learn how it's team.
I did.
Look at what that did for you.
I'm never gonna publish that either. You're never gonna see the light of day. So
Not
ever. Nope. So CascadiaTabletop.com. We've been talking CritCon. We're gonna be launching soon.
We keep telling you guys we made it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, but it's gonna be bigger and better. We're gonna have where we had 2 game systems, 3 game systems. Basically, last year we're gonna have 5 to 6, maybe more. So yeah. At Low Brown Minis.
Yep. Dice throw it up at cartel.com. We got the Florida shirts coming up real shortly. So that'll be launching near after the 5th. So
cool.
Yep.
At Spanaway on everything. Painting Cave Minis. And patreon.com/Vox Cascadia podcast. Thank you, our Patreon supporters, and we're gonna have you take a vote and see what we're doing on July 27th.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.